Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to my channel, it's me. And yes, so TMNT, Mutant Mayhem. I got to watch it. I'm finally doing this review on it. So, yeah. So, I was a big fan of TMNT. I was born in the 90s, so, I was a fan of the movies, the shows, and the toys. So yeah, I would call myself a fan. Not an ultra fan, like now there's the comics, and also I haven't really, kept up to date with the newest TMNT shit, like the Rise of TMNT, the Michael Bay movies, and what's it called? The 2012. I haven't really watched too much. I watched some, and it's pretty good. But yeah, haven't followed too much TMNT, but I still love the series. So yeah, Mutant Mayhem is a new series of TMNT. It's a more grounded world and storytelling. And yes, I know, I say grounded while there's mutants around. But when you're comparing it to the other series where they got magic and, space and aliens around, it's like, alright, this is more grounded. Nothing exaggerating or nothing like crazy is happening right now. Now, there are a few changes that they did with TMNT with its origin story and also characters. But nothing extreme like, Rise of TMNT. Now, the art style, it is one of the highlights of this movie. Man, the art style is just beautiful, man. I'm just so happy that people are just following the same footsteps as Into the Spider-Verse, because, man, that style is just like 2D, looking animation. It's just beautiful, man. So it copies what Into the Spider-Verse does. Not a complete copy as in, the art style looks the same. Actually, it looks completely different. It captures, the 2D on 3D models aesthetics, but the art style is actually ugly. It goes with the dark and gritty theme. I think it blends well with it. The art style looks like it's made by a kid, like doodling around and making purposely, like, not really good-looking characters. Like, I don't want to say ugly, but, ugly. And I appreciate this, ugly art style because, most animated movies, they always try to make their characters look good, look beautiful or look adorable, But, it's like this one, nah, every character is gonna look like a fucking mutant, even the humans. Alright, so now let's talk about the Turtles. This is way different from any other turtle adaptations that I've seen, because the title says it itself, like they always focus on the ninja, the turtles, and even the mutants, but they never really focus on the teenagers. Like most Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, adaptations, shows, movies, they all are just 30-year-old men talking and sounding like a teenager from the 80s. And even then, it's like, no, you sound older than that. But with these new Turtles, they actually sound like teenagers because they actually hired teenagers. I can't believe how much it just helps a lot to make these characters so lovable, man. Like, I love these characters when they're acting goofy. My fucking god, it's like watching kids be goofy as shit too, and it's just so perfect. Like, I can't believe they've been making Ninja Turtle movies and shows since forever, and they have never had the idea of maybe we should hire teenagers to voice these characters. Because every TMNT adaptation, they always do or say some goofy stuffs. And, when I was a kid, I didn't really care. It's like, oh, they're goofy and cringe because they are teenagers. But now that I'm an adult, I'm just like, hey, why are these grown-ass men acting like children? Yeah, get a job. But now that the voice actors are actually teenagers, it's like, yeah, of course, they are gonna be goofy, or they are gonna be cringe. Because they're kids, and also they're adorable, man. I've fallen in love with these characters. Like, I want to see more movies of them again. All right, like I have teenage family members, and fucking A, man, they're just so fun to be around. Like, man, the fucking cousin was like, hey, yo, have you heard of the new Frank Ocean album? It's like, wait, what? He made a new album? She showed me the fucking Channel Orange album. Like, no, you were in diapers when this shit came out. But yeah, this new TMNT just captures the teenager aspect, you know, like, yeah, teenagers, they act dumb, and yeah, they feel like they're adults, but really they aren't. But watching them navigate through this world is very unique, you know. We never really saw them this early in their age, you know. It's gonna be really interesting. Hopefully, you know, because, you know, the actual voice actors, they're teenagers, they're gonna grow, puberty's gonna hit them, and their voices are gonna sound deeper. Hopefully, they make the turtle models look older too. Alright, so now let's talk about Splinter. Splinter in all the other, you know, turtle movies and shows, he was a sensei first and father second. But in this movie, it's reverse. He's a father first and sensei second. In the other TMNTs, he was always a teacher to them, you know, he was always telling them to either do push-ups or do flips, you know, exercise, get stronger, get better, you know. He was basically a drill sergeant but father, you know. But, you know, I'm not saying it's wrong for having a father figure to tell their kids, oh, get stronger, get better. It's like, oh yeah, that's great. But sometimes when I get sad, can you sit me down and say everything's gonna be okay? Can you tell me you love me? And this Splinter actually loves the turtles. Now, I'm not saying like, oh, the other Splinters, you know, they don't love them, but I'm just saying like this one, you could really tell. Like, whenever they leave, he's probably looking at baby photos saying, oh, I hope they're okay. Because he's also overprotective because he's paranoid about, you know, the outside world, you know, because they're mutants. And it's funny because, you know, like I said, the art style, you know, every human looks like a mutant. It's like, oh, look, a rat. It's like, motherfucker, look at you. Who are you? Judging. But the turtles, they're in that age where they want to go out. They want to explore their area. So now the origin story for these characters is, you know, Splinter was a New York rat, and the baby turtles, you know, they somehow ended up in the sewers, and they touched the ooze, and that's how they became these mutants. So yeah, very funny how, you know, Splinter, he was straight up a New York rat. So his experience when he was a rat was horrible, especially against humans. So it's not only he's paranoid because, oh, they're also mutants, but also he had trauma before that, so that's why he was just so paranoid about humans. And the scene with, you know, Splinter and the baby turtles, that was a great scene, man. That was just adorable. Right there, I was like, I want to become a dad. And then I see in my bank account and my situation that I'm in, I'm just like, no, that's not possible. All right, so now let's talk about the antagonists, Superfly and the gang. I thought they were actually pretty good villains, you know? Like, yeah, they're like the generic, like, evil people, but the reason why they're evil, it's just like, for me, I was like, this is kind of sad, you know? We see him as a baby raising his brothers and sisters, you know, and I'm just like, wow, I did not expect this much heart to a villain. Like, yeah, sure, like, I just wish the movie was longer and we get to see more of these characters, you know? The movie is like an hour and 30 minutes. Like, they did show us enough to feel it, but it's like, wow, I wish we could see more because, you know, like, if you take those scenes away because it was so little, Superfly could have just been a generic villain. Now, the gang, Bebop Rocksteady, Mondo Gecko, Wingnut, Leatherhead, and Red Fillet. They didn't really have enough screen time. They did have just a little bit, you know, that heist, but that was about it. Mondo Gecko was the only one out of all of them that had more screen time, and I actually loved them with the little screen time we had. But yeah, in the advertisement, they hyped the fuck out of these villains. Like, oh shit, all these actors are gonna play these characters. Oh man, they only have like, I don't know, like 5 lines in the movie. So yeah, pretty disappointed, but I get why they had so many people in there, because this was focused on family. And, you know, I thought the family aspect, how they explain how it was a part of the story, is really good, you know? Like, it's like, you know, the Superfly and the gang, they're just like, the older relatives that are bad influences to the Turtles, you know? Like, Superfly and the gang accepted the Turtles. They're like, oh, you're cousins. They're like, oh, well, shit, out of nowhere, we just find these guys and they already accepted us. But it's like, all right, buddy, you got to do some fuck shit too. It's like, oh, I got to kill people? No, I don't want to do that. Wait, what? You want to do that? If you don't want to do that, then you're not a part of the gang. And, you know, I have a fucking rule that if you see my face, you're dead. It's like, oh, whoa, holy shit. I was scared for the turtles. The Superfly was just pressing on them like, oh, what's up now? What's up? All right, so now let's talk about April O'Neil, the turtles' first human friend. So I thought she was actually a pretty good character. She wasn't like a carbon copy of another April O'Neil. She was her own April O'Neil, and I liked it. And yes, I know, guys, she's black, and I know for some of you guys this is a deal breaker. Oh man, I can't believe they ruined April O'Neil by making her black. Oh man, I can't believe they took the sex appeal out of a child. It's like, what are you guys angry about? All right, like listen, April O'Neil in the comics was biracial. Yeah, sure, she kind of looks more light-skinned, but, it's supposed to be based on the creator's wife, which she is biracial. So why is everybody getting mad? Like, no one was mad when, they made April O'Neil white, and then for years, no one complained. But once they switch it up with black, oh man, they ruined her. Oh, they're going woke. It's like, guys, now you cared about what being accurate to the character? You didn't say shit when she was, like, white, but now it's a big deal. Before that, it was like, oh, it doesn't matter with the skin of the character, as long as she is the character we know and love, as long as it's the same April that are friends with the Turtles and she reports the news. That's all I care. Now you switched up. No, yeah, another thing that people were complaining about is, she's ugly, and also she's fat. It's like, okay, guys, why does this really matter? Like, all right, fine. Yeah, she's a little fat, all right, but that doesn't really matter. It's not distracting. And also, like I said from the beginning, every character looks ugly. She might be the only one that actually looks normal. Every other human character looks disgusting. Shit, they look worse than mutants. So it's obvious it's coming from people who haven't watched the movie. They only saw the trailer and they're like, wow, she looks ugly, and she's fat, and she's black. She looks disgusting. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention, spoilers. All right, I'm gonna give you a few seconds. I don't want to spoil anybody. So, yeah, they were talking about how Splinter is gay in this movie. He isn't, all right? Like, I'm not gonna go any further. He's not gay, all right? Like, the bug is obviously a female. Shit, she's wearing the typical old lady dress, well, at least a torn dress. Like, these people just always trying to find a way to say, this is woke and this is gay, I hate it. It's like, bro, just watch it, or either just don't talk about it at all. Like, you guys make it seem like, oh, this is ruining my experience, yet you never watched it. I just hate these people. I remember when they were talking about how, like, what was it? Super Mario was like woke because Princess Peach was fighting back. But at least some of those people watched it and they're like, actually, this isn't really woke. And then they used it to fight other woke movies. It's so dumb. I hate these people. So yeah, going back to talk about the movie, I really love the movie. I thought it was fantastic. The only complaint I got is the movie is short. And, because it was short, most of the trailers kind of like reveal a lot of stuff, it's like, because the movie's so good. I love it. And I wish it was longer because I liked all these characters. And I also thought the message in this movie was just amazing. Like, it's about family and you really feel it. Like, this has the most heart that I've seen in a movie. And it's just very wholesome. And I deeply love it. And for me, I think this is gotta be like the best, maybe like top 3. I don't know, like I haven't made my own list, but it's gotta be up there. Like it's just like I love everything about these new Turtles. Now I do have one complaint, but I'll talk about that after. But yeah, overall, really good movie. I give it an 8.5. If it was a little bit longer, it would have been a 9. But yeah. All right, so let's talk about the one complaint. Spoilers, guys, and it's that. The gang, like at the end of the movie, they all turned out to be good, and now they're living with the Turtles. And also the Turtles, they're accepted in society. I don't know, I just felt like, this happened way too early. Like, I don't know, like, I was thinking, like, maybe the next movie they do that, but, like, it's way too early to have the Turtles be accepted, because... it's like, the majority of the conflict of the Turtles is they're not accepted. They have to hide in the sewers to not get hurt by the humans. So now it's like, all right, so they're making a show and they're making a second one. what are they gonna do? Because now that they're accepted in society, it's like, all right, so if Shredder comes in and tries to kill them or kidnap them, it's like, all right, then we got New York on our side, the police and the people on our side because we're famous and we saved their city. They love us. And also, we got the other mutants. We got our family, Bebop, Rocksteady, Mondo Gecko, all these people. It's like, all right, like, we outnumber you. And also, they attend to school. So it's like, all right, so now the future New York is going to love them too. So, like, I don't know what's going to happen in the movie and the show. Oh, yeah, they're making a show. It's going to be around, the same universe. So it's like, I don't know what they're going to do. Either they got amazing writers that are going to come up with the most insane shit that I didn't even think of, or they really just fuck themselves over, like, oh man, shit, we we didn't really think this through. So yeah, that's all I'm gonna say. I'm really excited for this new show and also the next movie, and yeah, that's all I can say. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Like, comment, subscribe, follow me TikTok and Twitter so you can keep up to date with all my content, and yeah, bye.